He went to practice. He yelled at everybody on the team. He yelled at the front office. Went straight from practice. Had Rachel Nichols over the crib. Gave her an interview.
Did he have that fish tank still in there?
No. And now there's this tweet from Shams. Sham God tweets. Timberwolves All-Star Jimmy Butler called a players-only meeting today, which is yesterday, airing his feelings towards situation and management per league sources. Butler expressed to players he would compete with them, as signs pointing to him staying with the franchise into the regular season. Jalen, I have so many questions.
Okay.
But first, signs pointing of him staying with the team into the regular season, could this really happen?
Yes, it can happen, and a lot of this report, well done, by the way, is laughable from the Jimmy Butler aspect, and here's why. So let me get this right. You going to call a team meeting? You? First off, I want to see the number of people that showed up. Number two, of course he's going to possibly be with the team as the regular season starts. You know why? He don't control his own destiny.
No, he doesn't.
Okay? So if they find a deal that they like, they're going to move him. If the owner, Glenn Taylor, butts into the negotiations, then it may happen faster. If it's up to Tom Thibodeau and he's trying to maximize the value of a guy that he coached in Chicago and Minnesota, and he understands that when he plays, that's going to help elevate the team, plus his value, that's the better opportunity to then move him. Ultimately, yes, it's going to happen because, one, the owner said it will, and two, you don't want to lose him at the end of the year for nothing anyway.
Somewhere Karl-Anthony Towns is like, y'all told me he was going to be gone, and here he is in practice yelling at me. Like, I signed an extension with y'all. Like, everybody's upset about this. And this players-only meeting thing is funny to me. It's funny to me because, like you said, how many people showed up? And how did he text? Did he send a group text to be at this time at this place? And then Jeff Teague comes out and says, there was no players-only meeting. That's fake news. So what do you think really happened? Like, why would Jeff Teague say it didn't happen if it happened?
Well, because a team meeting is exactly what I just acknowledged. That means everybody's present and everybody hopes to air out their grievances so they can move forward with one goal.
It was him and Taj.
If he had a meeting, that means he wanted to drive his agenda to tell them, it ain't about y'all, dog. I know what happened in practice. I just, everything just got the best of me. We just going to go out there and do what we can to compete. But for a Minnesota franchise that's going into a critical season, because a couple of things happen that people overlook with Rachel's fine interview with Butler. One, she asked him, is the situation fixed? He said no. She said, can the situation be fixed? He said, possibly.
He said, maybe.
You know what that means? In other words, if y'all trade Wiggins and get me his bread, I'll be good. That's really all this is about. He realized that Tibbs values him at an elite level. He also said Karl-Anthony Towns, best player on the team. He also said Wiggins, most talented player on the team. Ding, ding. That's why they got paid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's up to Wiggins to live up to their level of finance, but they can't meet Jimmy's financial needs.
Jimmy did the thing with that interview where he compliments Wiggins but also disrespects him at the same time. By calling him the most talented, he's got the most God-given talent, but he doesn't work hard enough to realize that talent to express itself on the basketball floor. Like, it's a sneaky thing when people give you those backhanded compliments.
I know, but it's also correct. It's a backhanded compliment when you're talking about my game, but I got something you really want. That's this bread.
Exactly.
And so they ultimately will be professionals moving forward as long as he's there, because everybody wants to serve their best interest, and they want to not be fined or not be undisciplined or not, do anything to disrupt what's trying to happen, especially for the two dudes that know they're going to possibly be there.
Well, let's go behind the curtain for a second.
Okay.
So this time, George Sedano's going to take us behind the curtain because he has some information. He's got Miami ties. He has some information about what went down between Tibbs and Pat Riley. He says, quote, The medicals were exchanged, which generally means this is a done deal. And then Tibbs called back and wanted more picks from Miami. And Pat Riley, literally, I was told, called him a mother bleeper and hung up the phone. So now we got Pat Riley cursing at Tibbs on the phone. What does that tell you about what's going on between the two of them?
It happens often. Like, I know that for public consumption, it isn't discussed in this level of detail, and I'm glad George brought us behind the curtain. But this deal seems like it's on a path to get done. For Miami, if they're going to reshape their team and catapult themselves in the Eastern Conference race, it should get done because they have no flexibility otherwise with their roster.
Yep. Well, we'll continue with the Jimmy Butler saga, but right now we're going to move on. This Friday, another episode of The Shop featuring LeBron James and other luminaries airs at 9:30 on HBO, and we've got a clip. Let's watch.
I think maybe one of my biggest concerns in my career is just to figure out how to exit gracefully. I've watched people overstay their welcome, and I just don't ever want to be that guy, and that's addicted to the feeling of victory, addicted to the emotion of people digesting something that they love, and get to a point where I'm feeding them something, and they're just like, yeah.
What helps? What helps with the gracefully bowing out is having people around you that was there from the day one, that's seen you from the beginning.
They help you gracefully bow?
Yeah, you can't have around you that don't keep it honest with you and keep it real with you.
You saying you need somebody to tell you?
You gotta have someone to tell you, like, yo, either accept the lesser role or you gotta tank.
What I love about that clip is Mav. Mav, like, so you're saying that you need someone around you that's close to you, that's been there since day one, that's supposed to tell you when to gracefully bow. Just want to confirm, because he knows that's his role.
Correct.
He's like, that's going to be me, bro. Remember you said this. We've got cameras here. That's going to be me, and I'm going to have to tell you that.
I'm happy that he and his crew are his squad. I got love for them. Rich, Mav, Randy, LeBron. I'm happy that they're bringing us unfiltered conversation. I know a lot of people don't want to see their favorite athletes cursing on television.
But they curse.
Especially LeBron James, who's an amazing role model.
That's not even an issue to me.
But that's what's said in adult conversation, especially in a barbershop. And I get where Drake is coming from, because that's always the push and pull for an entertainer. Is, am I addicted to the fame, or am I doing this for the love? And those lines get blurred a lot. And when you don't have anything else that you're passionate about and or feel like you're good at, that ultimately is what makes you hang on too long. But in his case, for an artist, you could do shows forever.
I know. And you know what? I'm never leaving this show. They could tear down these walls. They could take the cameras out. I'm still showing up. I'm still showing up and doing the show. I'm not gracefully bowing out. I'm going to have to get fired, canceled. They're going to have to put out a restraining order. I'm coming to work to do the show.
You going postal.
Coming up next, we've got some really interesting insight on Draymond Green about how the Warriors dynasty formed. Guess what? Alcohol was involved. We'll explain right after this.
No.
Don't change the channel. Leonardo DiCaprio reportedly flew an eyebrow specialist from Australia to do his eyebrows for the Oscars.
Oh, that's a boss move. If my barber's in Los Angeles and I'm going to Bristol, Connecticut for a book tour, I'm flying him as well.
You did not do that.
Yes, indeed.
You did that in real life?
I did, sir.
That is ridiculous. Don't say that again on wax.
I was in New York
doing
multiple interviees.
Embarrassed to be on the same logo as
on
you.
One day?
Yeah, no one else can get your hairline straight in New York City. None of those 12 million people.
Familiarity.
I've never said this to you before. You have too much money.